All right. Peace, peace, and blessings to Southfold. The Honorable One, the Success Scholar, Hakeem Shakur be here. Thank you for tuning in, listening in to this conversation here. I wanted to just do this video. Uh, I just truly wanted to address this issue because I see from my own evolution, and I see that sometimes uh, many different individuals miss a part in the developmental processes of life, and we have a God creator, given right to grow and to free ourselves and to gain knowledge and wisdom. And it really is disturbing for me to see humans actually not growing and not taking advantage, standing the environment that they live in, and positioning themselves for abundance and prosperity. So, with that being said, continue to hear there's this narrative, for instance, in the Black community. It's like a almost bitter type of mindset where individuals feel a certain way for individuals that have an expressed desire to aspire towards something truly great. Um, and when individuals that you are and you will, and certainly on a path to manifest many of the greatness in your life, the great attributes and wealth and prosperity and decent friends and progress, many people are in fact intimidated by this. And sometimes ignorance runs in packs, right? You ever see a group of intelligent people, not to say just intelligent in general, but sometimes achievers tend to be entrepreneurs, thinkers, tend to have a very isolated lifestyle, right? Because what we find is that most people have you know suffer from various levels of oppression, depression, and actually they don't necessarily over these impediments. They don't think that they can overcome them, or they make excuses. So this is actually these excuse makers and overcoming your detractors. We all have some, and some of them may not necessarily know that they way about your success, because it exposes their insecurities. It exposes their inabilities to transform themselves and transform their life and to actually grow into a full being, a full human, and to recognize their own humanity. And sometimes we live in a society where various things actually allow for us to remain as a victim, remain impoverished. And sometimes we look outside and we think uh, fault, all the time. But it's your fault if you do not correct it. So that's what I will say. So with that being said, a lot of good things have been going on over the past weekend. I was at Morgan State University, as well as went to the Reginald Lewis Museum, and I was at Coppin State 2 times. Sponsored the first homecoming. So I put my money where my mouth is, and attempted to support the institution of higher learning, Coppin State, and just plant some seeds, because I know, for instance, that one of these days these young people are going to they're aspiring to do something, and I'm going to be there with the opportunity to create a position for them to create opportunities. And this is why they're connecting to individuals in places like New York and Atlanta and LA, places like Chicago, different business people, not just, in the continental United States, but expand this conversation about, achievement within our community. Unfortunately, many people, have failed actually to expose themselves as well as our community members to, these realities. And so I'm taking initiative, showing up at the right conferences, reading the right books, and taking good notes. So yes, no, I don't, I don't just show with stars or celebrities, as some people would like to suggest. I actually listen to many of them, see what they are talking about, and see how my skill set, my track record, or my potential developmental abilities match what they want, and see to what level we can partner with and collaborate with. And so that actually is what has happened rather recently over the past few weeks, months, and years. Several individuals have seen that, I have a particular skill set, I have a particular knowledge set or a background that they saw they potential in my knowledge, that that I'm worthy for individuals to hear from. And so when you have individuals that pay 50 to up to $100,000 for a speaking engagement, when they find that you are worthy to be a part of their circle, you realize that you kind of had it going on. So that's what actually has happened. So now it's up to me to manifest these different things. So there are certain skills, and of course, that I need to learn marketing. Enhance what I know about marketing and branding, of course, but also sales, what drives business. But uh, we gotta begin to look at several things, within our community, and it's unfortunate that we are going to have these various levels of detractors, but hopefully these detractors, we can listen to see if it's legitimate, but many of the times it's just going to be anger, rage, and frustration. So we have to, position ourselves, for ultimate success and ultimate freedom. And this is what happens. This is why, I've had to expand my market, in the DC area, in Prince George's County area, where some healthy, holistic, intelligent, empowered people are. Individuals that are ready to go to another level, people that are reading the right books. They're not, wasting time, popularizing, reading the right books, showing up at the right places, getting the right information, as well as ensuring that their team of people that they have around them, content uh, individuals that are just accepting of what others have defined as their destiny. And that's what we have. Even, for instance, in Baltimore, we have an environment where people are just content. Some people that they are doing okay. They're making it. So, sometimes if you don't travel the world, if you haven't been to other, states or counties, and you're not reading the right information, you may not necessarily realize just how far you are, how far you've fallen. And that's if you don't know your history as well. So, with that being said, I want to say that sometimes or detractors, they may have some legitimacy, but other times they may just be that, they just may be angry and upset about your rise. And sometimes these individuals, they want to put you back 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. I remember when you went school and you got a D, or yeah. Or I remember when you bust tables, you know. So they don't want you to see yourself where you eat, right? So they want to put out and project to to audiences that, oh, this person, all he does is do A, B, or C. I remember when he did this. They don't know what you're invested in, and that's the problem. Many of these, they haven't invested in themselves. They haven't put their money towards growth, things that will will quadruple and grow astronomically. For instance, many of the people that I associate with and have associated with, you think that they're working a typical job, 9 to 5, and just going home, sitting down. And why would anybody think that I would show up at these different places with these people, and where my mindset, that I would think like that I would think like an employee forever. I mean, you start where you are, and many people reach different levels of success at different times. So look at Walt Disney, look at the founder of KFC, the Colonel. Many of these individuals reach levels of success within way older than myself. So again, uh, you have to know who you need to listen to, right? You can't keep listening to poor and ignorant people and allowing for their mindset, their mentality to keep. And I'm going on a radio show tomorrow. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it because it's really pathetic and rather sad, for instance, that that many have not, in the Baltimore area where I was born and raised, actually have not, had me on different radio shows. And I've been on Philadelphia stations, DC stations, Eastern Shore, Maryland radio stations, 2, 3 times in of the markets. But I mean, I've been on a few here, but these, you know, individuals, they want to always again see you like as the native son, as someone that they know, and that you're not gonna expand beyond that. But things are happening. Things are happening, and sometimes you got to know when you get into different environments to get around some winners, and have winners within your own area, of course, and you'll see them. But overwhelmingly, for instance, if you stay in an environment with poor people, it will begin to kind of, it's almost like it'll sip on you. What's the term? It will drip on you. It will begin to wear off on you. So again, you don't want to take into, that's why you got to protect your mind. You got to protect who you listen to and where you go. I'm like, look, it's only a few places I'm willing to go now, because I don't, I can't listen to some of the same things if I'm not, uh, I just don't have time. I need my time for study. I could be creating that I believe that people desire, that they want to hear from me. So, I know what's getting ready to happen. So I'm expanding. My marketing is halfway decent. I give myself a C for that part. Things are progressively moving forward. So I'm looking forward to the next step. Looking forward to this interview tomorrow, as well as this weekend. Got some things coming. Want to peace, brother Musa. One of our authors is having a thing in the DMV area. Shout out to Miss Peggy, as well as Darlene and Clemens is going to be in town. So she's the keynote for this event. So looking forward to that. And Smith is going to be speaking there as well. So that's what's going on this weekend. I got to work on my laptop and getting that fixed. But overall, I've planted the seeds. I've planted the seeds for success. Master success, and this is where all of that learning, all of that 100 books a year for 11 years. I got to go back to that because I just, some people don't necessarily understand what that actually means. It means that I'm a thinker. I can look at a book and I can be like, man, I remember I read that. I forgot the depth of what was in that. And you can look at other people that are doing other things and you can know that you belong. So just like, for instance, he's one of the stars. He's in the film along with myself in the film Black Friday Part 2. Yes, I'm in the film with a black billionaire, mama. Yeah, mama, and as well as David Banner, as well as Les Brown, Dr. George Frazier. So for those that wanted to say I was a one-hit wonder or like I was a Milli Vanilli, I want to be like I was gonna come out with just I'm talking about baby. What was that? And that was supposed to be it, but no, that's not it. And I know what needs to continue to happen and continue to pop off. So, but yeah, speaking about Mike Roberts, the black billionaire, I realized that I didn't learn this for years later, but he says it all the time that he actually worked for 39 years, right? So I always make a joke. I say, well, my father was opposed to working for 37 years. So what happened to me? No, yeah, it's cool that you can make jokes like that and say, you know, that you compare yourself to a black billionaire and not, feel like, wait, you see, because some people, they're not even in a position where they actually even thinking that they could make, $1 million in a year, like Dr. Joe L. Dudley. He's in the film too, Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr. So he's in the film as well. And he shares how he made $1 million in a day, not a year, a day, one day with Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr. So, yeah, but that's interesting. That's interesting. So, and I actually stayed at Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr.'s. So it all kind of comes back to circle of people that I've, started. Um, that's right, honey. Your circle of influence that you started. I was 26, 27 years old. I went to the Dudley headquarters, and I recall it was like, now I've read books of someone, Brother George Sabura. I read several of his books, and what was interesting when I went for the Mata conference to Dudley here, Dr. Dudley has a hotel, and I stayed at his hotel, and I actually shared a room with George Sabura, who I had read books about 10 years ago. I mean, no, not that long, probably 6, 7 years ago. So I'm just like, wow. So I'm actually sharing a room with an author that I've actually read books about, for years. It's Black Folks Guide to Making Big Money in America, Black Folks Guide to Successful Business. Yeah, those are some books that, peace, bro, peace, bro. Black Folks Guide to Getting Black Folks to Sell. So these are some early on that prepared me for to always have an entrepreneur mind. So whether you are working at you're you don't have a job, or count your blessings if you do, but always create different opportunities, move from that that E and the S quadrant to that B and the I quadrant. Yes, I've made a cycle. So again, progress is being made. Stay tuned in, connect the dots. Success Scholar on the rise. Stay tuned in. We got some good products coming out. We're going to be interviewing with one of the directors of Toastmasters, as well as the Black Speakers Network event coming up in December the 21st. So get ready for that. That's going to be in the DC area. So looking forward. I'm a sponsor of that. I've been just sponsoring a lot of stuff, and that's why I'm just like putting my money where my mouth is with the right, not just any old scrub, but some real business operations in our students and our young people. Bowie State, Morgan State, Coppin, the HBCUs in the state of Maryland. That's where I gotta I'm a push for next year. I'm giving a final call, but I'm going to push to see if I could do some commencements at high schools, Baltimore, but Prince George's County. See if they want to allow for the Success Scholar to get in there. So that's part of my movement to try to reach some of these. So I'm out. Oh, shoot. Let me shut this down.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Great, great. Do you mean to call me?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Hi, how are you?